Okay, back again. And of course I have a problem with trying to get this in the right frame here. Here we are. Now, in the last install, or in the last part we ran, this last command here, and I'm sorry, I didn't have my coffee. I had chips instead. And sour cream and onion dip. They weren't Ruffles either. They were just plain old regular chips. So if you buy dip, make sure you have Ruffled chips. It just goes that way. Or you'll fail your LFS install. Alright. So in the last part ran make and make check and piped it into glibc check log. So I got these two errors here. Okay. Now I'm not really concerned about these. I don't remember if I got them before, but I think I did. Alright. And this may differ for you. You may have no errors. Okay. Or you may have more than one error. And with error checking, it says here that we can grep for error in glibc checklog. Okay, that's going to tell us all our errors that we have. Okay, this one here, glibc build libio test partial blah blah blah. Error. I got 2 ignored. Okay, and have 2 of them here that are not ignored. Now with error checking, it really could be anything. You could stop here and you could go searching for, oh my god, what the hell happened? Okay, but we're just going to keep going and see what happens. So, clear. Touch. We need to touch etc ld.so.config. Need to create that. And let's say make install. Okay. If the error is too bad, you will not be able to make install. Okay. A lot of the times. There's even a process to errors when you're building LFS. Really don't get dismayed by errors. Expect errors. Expect to see them. Okay, and expect to see them at times when you don't even know that they could happen. But don't let it stop you. And for instance, if you do get bogged down, like after this, or say if I said make install and it didn't happen, right? I personally would just restart over, see if I ran into the same issue again, and then see if I ran into it one more time. And if I ran into it 3 times, then I'd start doing some checking to see exactly what's going on. It could be syntactical errors. It can be a space you misplaced somewhere like 3 hours ago. Okay, it can really be anything. Alright? And some errors just happen. And that's just all a part of learning. So I don't think this doesn't take too long, as far as I can remember. But the next part does take a little bit of time. We have to install the locales. So you see it's speeding up about now, and we're almost there. But a lot of times the errors are when you first build an LFS, or when you build something this deep, you're really tuned in. You don't want to see anything like an error. It's a bad thing. But with an LFS, it's not necessarily all that bad. It could be just simple warnings. I mean, after all, we do have a toolchain installed, but we really don't have a lot of parts of the operating system. Okay, and like even now we're only on glibc, so it could be testing for things that aren't even there. Okay, and that could be why we got some of those errors. I'm not sure, but as long as it doesn't stop you, and you can build, and you can actually boot your operating system at the very end, what is it? You know? So that's the beauty sometimes in LFS. And you'll know when you can't go any farther. We may say make install and get 2 packages down the road, and it won't let us make at all. Okay, and that's when you know, hey, okay, maybe I screwed up somewhere. And instead of going back and trying to fix it, sometimes depending on where you're at, maybe just better off to start over. But as long as the mandatory things check out, for example, adjusting the tool chain, that's very important, which is actually in the next one. The GCC checks here, 55 SBUs. This is a massive one. As long as these checks check out, and pretty much after we get over top of this right here, there'll be several times that we have to echo this in. We have to echo main into dummy.c, test our C compiler. Well, actually, this is here now. Compile and linking. We do this, perform some sanity checks. These sanity checks here are very important, but as long as they all check out, we are really good to go. Okay, so, and if you got something critical enough of an error, you would never be able to get to this part. So, errors are something. Expect to fail and fail often. I think the first time I installed LFS, it took me like a year, and it was at least 25, 30 installs. 5 were failures, or 5 were successes, so it was that 1 in 6, something like that. 1 in 5. And what were they? They really weren't syntax. I really didn't know what I was doing. So, and I had no guide to show me either. So that's the other thing. There was no visual reference for where I was going. Nobody made any videos. Nobody had any videos at the time that actually succeeded. And I was pretty much just winging it, reading the book. And reading was a pain in the butt, but after a while you realize there's no way around this. I can't really cut corners on this. I can't copy and paste and put a script in and expect it to work. Okay? And that maybe I should just read the book, figure out what's going on, and get through it. And I did want to learn about it, but the mountain was kind of big. 200 and some page book, 10-hour build, very, very foreign terminology. Yeah, and I had tried a Gen 2. Well, I did a Gen 2 before that. I never tried an Arch, but I did a Gen 2 before that. And what turned me on to LFS was actually trying to get down to something that was deeper than Gen 2. Gen 2 took me like a month. But after I got it, I said, hey, well, is this really it? I was trying to look for a Gen 2 Stage 1, which did not exist at the time. Make install. And that's what led me to LFS. So we did our make install. And on our install, as you can see here, we got nothing. And it says here, your new glibc seems to be okay. Alright, we're going to trust it. And we're going to go. So now I need to copy verbose glibc 219 ns nscd dot config to etc nscd dot config. Okay. Make directory parent verbose for cache nscd. Okay. Now on to installing these locales. These aren't really that hard to do. You just have to pay a little bit of attention. Locale. And just go with it. Locale def I cs cz f utf-8 cs cz dot utf-8. Okay. The next one would be locale def Deutsch ISO -8859-1. Okay. And we have 1.5 at Euro. At Euro. We have Deutsch at UTF-8. Okay. English Great Britain. You see what I'm doing? I'm just using the up arrow to go ahead and just pull up the last command that I had, cut it apart a little bit, change it. Okay. 1.5 would be English HK. English HK. Now, even if you don't think that you need this right here, I would say just do it anyway. One of the problems when I was installing my first LFS install is I was trying to optimize, customize, do all that other stuff like that, trying to think on my own basically for what was going on with the install. But if you put it this way, there's a whole dev team behind this, and if it's your first one, it's really you really don't want to experiment. It could cost you an install, and you'll never be able to get to the end, get tired, bogged down. Eventually you might not even want to do it anymore. So follow the book. That's what it's there for. You know, and it's very accurate. Very accurate. There's a whole team behind it. And they have done, basically they did all the work for you. So you kind of want to just go ahead and follow it so you can get the experience of installing the LFS system. And what is this? French. lot of times people make mistakes and they try to customize way in the beginning. French UTF-8. Or throughout the book they try to customize. Say, oh well, you know, I don't need this or I don't need that. Like these locales here. So, oh, I'll never need these locales. And it's true. You probably never will ever use these locales. But the problem is you do not want to get any erroneous undocumented errors while you're this far into the system just because you thought you did not need something. TF8. Italy. So you kind of try to stay as golden to the book as possible. Without really running around. Say Japan, F, EUC-JP, JA, JP. Okay. And we got Russia, KOI 8-R, RU, KOI 8-R. You really want to follow the instructions because it's good for you, man. Russia. Like the Brady Bunch. Russia. Okay. Just take your time. Before you know it, you're almost done. And we are almost done. China. GB 18030 ZHCN dot GB 18030. Okay. This last locale is going to take a little second, but it's okay. This is actually one of the most extensive programs to set up. glibc is. When we go to GCC, it's long as far as test wise, but this is one of the most extensive to go through. So after we go through this, everything else should be kind of okay. The time period wise, GCC will be the longest to set up, or longest to complete, but there's just a lot of typing involved in this. So now we have to say make locale data install dash locales. Okay, good deal. So like I said, this is going to take a little bit, maybe half an hour, maybe something like that. I'm not sure. But we'll come back and we'll keep going. Peace out.